Hey guys, it's Jack with Jacked & Lean. Today we're going to talk over a few different fruits that I think basically every human should have in their plan. Some of the more common ones that I write when I'm writing nutrition programs, and why I think you should have these particular fruits in the plan. It's in the bodybuilding world specifically, fruits are kind of demonized. I guess in general too. People think like, oh, sugar is bad for you and fruits have sugar, therefore they must be bad for you. But in reality, they are a massive source of so many like healthy, whether it be antioxidants, vitamins and minerals. They're just absolutely awesome things that nature has provided us that we should absolutely include in your diet. And unfortunately, in the bodybuilding and health realm, people often not just only demonize them, but don't understand their benefits and how they can be properly integrated into a plan. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first one I want to cover are blueberries. Blueberries are an absolute staple in all Jacked & Lean programs for a lot of reasons. Antioxidants being number one. Antioxidants are things that help to basically reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. There's a whole host of benefits that come along with that. They're a very potent source of antioxidants. They're also great polyphenols, which can help basically feed the good gut bacteria, which helps with your microbiome. Blueberries also have a good digestion profile. Like, not a lot of people struggle with blueberries. They're pretty low FODMAP. So if you're someone who's needs a low FODMAP diet, blueberries are a great thing to add in there. In general, they're great for managing blood sugar. So if someone has like issues with blood sugar spikes, adding some blueberries in a meal can help to control that just a little bit. And due to some of the mechanisms of like managing inflammation and oxidative stress in the body, help with insulin resistance and other issues, right? There's something that just tastes good. And we find that a lot of people with our whole fruit-based diet in general, it's something we lean heavily on at Jacked & Lean, helps curb cravings, and blueberries are a great add to that. Blueberries, maybe a little bit of honey on it. I find people don't need the same level of like sugar as they once did. Blueberries are again like a phenomenal thing that I think every single person should have in their plan. A lot of times we have like 200 plus grams at least twice a day in people's plans. It seems like a lot until you get used to eating it regularly. And then regarding frozen versus fresh, we recommend using frozen blueberries because they're basically frozen at like the peak ripeness, and so they have the most antioxidant capacity. It's like basically frozen into the blueberry, so they don't lose it as they are transported and whatnot. So I'd always recommend going with frozen blueberries. If you want to do them fresh, it's obviously better than not eating any blueberries at all, but make sure you have blueberries in your diet regardless. The next fruit that you should consider adding into your plan are kiwis. These furry little friends are phenomenal adds to any nutrition plan for a number of reasons. Number one being the actinidin, which is an enzyme that basically helps to digest proteins. So some people who eat like large quantities of like meats and protein in a meal sometimes have some digestive issues. So adding in some kiwis with the meal or just before the meal can help to ease that digestive strain. Another thing is vitamin C in kiwis. Vitamin C helps to absorb iron. So for someone who has like iron issues or they're anemic, right, and iron deficient, adding in this with a source of iron, something like some red meat, helps to absorb the iron. I utilize that a lot in females' plans specifically. Another thing is that they help with sleep. So a couple kiwis has been shown in the literature to significantly improve sleep on a number of parameters. Now there are the gold versus green kiwis. The gold kiwis have a little bit more vitamin C, but not the same amount of like protein digesting enzymes. So you can kind of go either way. Sometimes people can have a little bit harder time with the green kiwis, although I will say if you do a good job like cutting it up, it's not really much of an issue, even in some like my more extreme gut cases. And if you really want to, you can actually eat the skin, and that has a number of benefits as well. Some more fiber, some antioxidants, all kinds of good stuff come with the skin of kiwis. It's a little bit easier to eat the gold kiwi skin because it's a little bit smoother than these green kiwis. But kiwis are absolutely a phenomenal add that we think every single person should have in their plan. The third fruit we recommend everyone consume are pineapples for a number of reasons. Vitamin C, much like in kiwis, helps absorb iron, helps your immune system, helps reduce inflammation, especially after a workout, which is a time I really like to use pineapples, is in like a post-workout meal. They're easy to digest. Sometimes you can see a little bit of a histamine elevation, but that's kind of outside the scope of this video. But putting them in like a post-workout meal that contains some chicken or some other sort of meat, someone who has issues digesting kind of protein-heavy meals in general can benefit from bromelain and pineapples in more so in particular. Pineapples also break down fiber, which helps like circulation and tissue repair repair, can maybe even help kind of control hematocrit and some of those other things. So pineapples are definitely something everyone should consume. Freezing the pineapples does not hinder bromelain content in the pineapples at all. So if you don't want to be cutting up a fresh one every day, I'd really recommend some frozen pineapples in your diet. 150, 200 grams, whatever your macros and your digestive tolerance allows. The fourth food we recommend everyone consume are bananas. Okay, now bananas have a wide range of benefits. Just a quick disclaimer, if you're someone who needs a lower FODMAP diet, I would definitely stay away from riper bananas, okay? But bananas in general, obviously a good source of potassium, which helps with electrolyte balance. I really like the fact that they're pretty quick digesting, so if someone's training in the morning and they need to get out the door real quick and go to the gym, we know that they don't need a massive meal. They just need something maybe top off that hunger a little bit, and something like a banana digests pretty well for most people. Even in some more advanced gut cases, I don't see bananas cause a ton of issues unless they're super, super ripe. Especially green bananas have increased resistant starch, which helps feed good gut bacteria and leads to overall digestive health. I really like bananas from a very practical use standpoint. They mix well in smoothies. You can freeze them and they kind of taste like ice cream, right? Like bananas are cheap, they're effective. I know sometimes they're not like the sexiest in terms of like their antioxidant capacity, and obviously they have a little bit higher, they're more carb dense than something like a blueberry, but that does not mean that they do not have benefits in their own right. And so this is, again, something I'll work in maybe before a workout, could work in post-workout, or if you need something quick and on the go, do not sleep on bananas. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the 4 fruits that we recommend everyone consume in their diet. We lean very heavy on fruits at Jacked and Lean. Meat, eggs, fruits is kind of one of our taglines because of the immense amount of benefits, whether it be the antioxidants that help with inflammation, okay, the potassium in the bananas that help with a variety of things, the vitamin C, which helps with your immune system. We are a massive believers that fruits, when done right, are the most beneficial thing you can add to your diet. And a lot of times, stuff that people try to achieve with supplements, they could just get by improving their food intake. Again, better digestion, better immune systems, the works. So if you are someone who has been skipping on your fruit, when we look at a meal plan, that's one of the first things we look for. If they're doing just like meat and cream of rice all day long, or protein, okay, where's the fruit? If someone's eating a bunch of junk food, where's the fruit? It's one of the first things we layer into any plan, again, for the variety of benefits. So stay tuned for more food and nutrition related videos coming at you from Jacked and Lean.